Now I'm at the point you wanna be with me. I'm vibing out at a higher frequency, cause everything that I want and I'm gonna be, it's when I wake up, that's when I start to dream. Someone you love is talking down, here is the plan. Let it fall through like a handful of sand. Nothing happens overnight, what you must understand. If you dwell on the bad, then you don't stand a chance. Something you want upset, saying why it ain't mine yet. That's because now you have yet to change your mindset. People don't put their mind to rest while they're so wired. A lot of people go to sleep and wake up tired. Power of positivity and persistence. Say that I can, we'll just sit back and witness. Make an impact when our time is done. Make money, help people, and have lots of fun. Whoa.
Welcome to 2 Minute Drill, the first pitch-only show that features entrepreneurs from all walks of life competing each week for more than $50,000 in cash and prizes. Hosted by legendary entrepreneur, sports executive, and investor David Meltzer. 5 contestants have just 2 minutes to deliver their most convincing pitch ever. Who will fold under the pressure and who will thrive?
Congratulations, great pitch.
After the pitches are complete, the judges will deliberate to decide our champion.
You violated some amazing rules.
Will they rise to the occasion?
Give us more of your heart and your passion rather than what you felt like you had to say.
What is it that we need from you? Because that's where you're going to get somebody.
Will they blow away the judges?
That was a round of applause. That was probably one of the best pitches I've ever seen.
Will they be crowned champions?
You are the winner of 2 Minute Drill.
David Meltzer hosts 2 Minute Drill.
Happy Friday, everybody. Good morning. We're going to go ahead and set the room here. So I appreciate everybody joining us. And this is, of course, David Meltzer's Power Hour. It's 6 a.m. Pacific on the West Coast.
It's going to kick me out.
On the East Coast.
Oh.
And of course, we are in
Good morning, everyone. Little awkward beginning, but BYOQ. So we're going to be taking your questions. So I appreciate everyone. We're at the Super Bowl. We're also by Radio Row. We'll be around here if you're in Las Vegas. And then next week, we'll be in Indianapolis for the NBA All-Star Game. Come and join us. We're also up at Sky Stadium on Monday at our great studios there and our offices there. So appreciate you so much. Hold on a second. There we go. All right. We're having a good time here. So Nick's in the room. We're going to start over. I hope so. Can you hear me now? All right.
So we can go ahead here and get rocking and rolling with our first question of the day. I will go ahead and pass the mic over to Serafina, who just joined the stage. So Serafina, happy Friday. Thanks so much for joining us. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask David your question.
Hello, David and good morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
My question is, with the Super Bowl and everything, some things might get a little overwhelming. So I'm just wondering, how do you get back to center, and what does the center look like for you?
Yeah, well, it's a great question. And yes, things can get overwhelming when you have a whole team of people at the Super Bowl and things are compressed and you step out of the learning zone into the anxiety zone. I always say that prioritization is the antidote to feeling overwhelmed. And when we are capable of prioritizing what's important to us, knowing what it is that we're trying to do here at the Super Bowl, think, say, believe, and feel, what and who can we help here at the Super Bowl and who can help us, and then how best to get it done today at the Super Bowl, utilizing the activities that are planned, leaving parking places for what's unplanned, making sure that we have a non-negotiable sleep and fitness and faith, and studying our finance and time as well, and then reprioritizing accordingly as things change, the time, the value, and emotions change throughout the day, or another way to say it, when God laughs at you, reprioritizing. But when things get outside of that anxiety zone and you start feeling overwhelmed, separate from, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, resentful, instead of trying to go over it, under it, through it, around it, and resist it, what I suggest you do is breathe and stop. Stop and remind yourself what you want to do today, say today, think today, feel today, and believe today towards the divine direction of your objective of being at the Super Bowl wherever you are. And then you can roll in that trajectory. You can remind, remember, and recollect in ease by defying the dis-ease. And it's difficult, Serafina, to identify the fear that is creating the dis-ease, but it's easy to identify the disease because our blood pressure rises, our body, our minds, our soul catches on fire. And instead of dealing with the fear of the past or fear of the future, fear of what's inside of us that may have been genetically or energetically inherited, or fear of what's outside of us, traffic or the rain or the flat tires or whatever else may occur. What we want to do is just that for a long-term adjustment. Save our fears and the analysis of fears for the therapy and meditations and all the other things that we can do to slowly but surely dissipate, dissolve, and disappear that fear, but to maximize the 24 hours that we're guaranteed every day of our life, except for the last day of our life, of course. So you're only cheated in your entire life a few hours. What I want you to do is let fear work itself out, or work on fear for the long haul, but deal with the reaction to fear, the ego-based consciousness that's protecting, promoting, and loving us, not punishing us. Utilize the ego-based consciousness, the pain that you feel, the fire that you feel, to propel us back into, not away from, not in a distance of resistance, but instead to ease ourselves into a divine direction, a better place, a better position, a better situation. And so for me, I park fear of the past and the future, inside and outside, for the long haul, for personal development, therapy, meditation, etc. But I deal with the ego-based consciousness every day. How am I reacting to fear? Not concerned about the childhood trauma or the genetic inheritance that I've received, or even the energetic inheritance that I've received, but instead staying very focused on the prioritization of my day to get to where I want to be, or better today, to learn what I can and will today, to do my best and have fun. It's a critical practice. And remember, it's a practice. It's practice, not perfection. It's progress, not perfection. So the incremental successes of today, the progress of today, will aggregate, they will accelerate, and they will compound exponentially in better results and put you in a better situation than you ever imagined. Utilize the stop, drop, and roll mechanism, and I promise you put yourself at ease and get better at identifying the dis-ease. All right, Nick, why don't we reset the room? We're here at the Super Bowl. We'll be at the NBA All-Star Game next week and SoFi. It's the tax season of sports, I call it. February is not only Black History Month, it is the tax season of sports. So if you know people in the sports industries with careers and jobs, give them that consideration that it's their tax season, and we'll give those accountants the consideration in April as well. The only difference is that in our tax season, everyone's having fun. In the tax season of accountants, it's not quite as much fun. All right. More importantly, Nick, go ahead. Let's take on the next question.
Beautiful. Let's keep it moving and roll with this Super Bowl edition of BYOQ. As a reminder for everybody, as you have your questions for David during this incredible power hour, use the hand in the right-hand corner of your screen to request to join the stage. Or if you have a difficulty there, feel free to throw something in the room chat. And as we transition here, let's see, I'm going to pass it over to the one and only Ron. Ron, happy Friday. Of course, always appreciate you showing up every week. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask David your question.
Absolutely. Good morning, Nick. What's up, Coach?
What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. Hey, I downloaded that app, Think Up, that you were talking about yesterday.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I played around with it and used it this morning. What a difference. That's pretty cool. So a question, while you're at the Super Bowl, do you know Andy Reid?
Do I know Andy Reid? Yes, I know Andy Reid, and he's extremely active right now.
I know I'm sure he is, but where I was yesterday, if you do run into him, tell him that his friend Calvin Knowlton said hello.
I'll probably see him today, although I'll more likely, I've been hanging out more on the Niners side with Al Guido and the incredible Kyle Shanahan and others, Jed and those guys with the Niners. Although, you know, the other side of the cave is always there. So I'm hoping he's going to show up in Cherry Hill or in South Jersey. What are we looking at? February 28th. February 28th. We'll be down there. I'll be at Princeton in Einstein's lab and doing some content there and inspiring. Hopefully, I think I'm going to get a little bit of the sports teams involved into Einstein's lab. And do I get to peek into Oppenheimer's lab too, Ron?
Yeah, Max said, it's just going to be you and him, and I guess whoever you're bringing with you. So I was actually with Max this morning at the kitchen. He's quite nervous. I told him not to be. He's like, how do I act around a celebrity?
Yeah, that's a great point. It's so funny. Like, I spent years, I couldn't get out of places when you're building a community of people that you help and know people that you could help. It's crazy, the exponentiality of building a community. And there is great positive and empowerment, and the meetups are getting huge. The speeches are getting huge. The impact is huge, but it's not quite as easy to get around anymore, and making sure that you are available for people. But anyway, my friend, I'm going to get to see you February 28th. I want to invite everybody to join us. We will be in Jersey on the 28th. We'll be in the city, New York City, on the 27th. Come and join us, but we'll keep you posted. It is BYOQ. My friend Ron is here. Bring your question, Ron. I'll bring the answer.
No question. I'm going to save it for tomorrow.
All right.
And I just want to say, Dave, enjoy your time. You deserve it. You help us so much. I'm watching you, on Instagram. It looks like you're having a blast there. Like it looks like you're in your element, So just have fun. And,
Thank you.
I'm excited about it. Thank you, David.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I love a little commentary here on the Breakfast of Champions. Nick, you want me to take a question online, or you want to line somebody else up on Clubhouse?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a question online, and then when we come back, your two favorite letters of the alphabet waiting for you with the incredible Gigi.
Right on. So question online here. And I want to thank, we are over the 100,000 person mark of registrants on all the different platforms here. Over 1 million people viewing Friday's training via all different platforms on the replay and the podcast. So thank you, everyone, for building, like I said, an amazing community. The question here is, what conversation have you had on Radio Row that you can't get out of your head? It was with Dr. Oz, and working with the NFL Health Organization, and understanding, a guy who is a heart surgeon and has done so much in his career, now is spending his life on a mission like mine to empower others to be healthy. And, health is obviously part of happiness. So we're in a very aligned position together. But the conversation that we had was the advancements that we've made in helping people to prevent disease. And I had a conversation with him about how we are on the same mission. He's just far more intelligent than I am, but on the same mission of having people create behaviors that are aligned with being at ease, not at dis-ease, and how important it is to take care of self first. He had his whole family there. He and I were, I think, the only ones on Radio Row with our kids there to learn from the people who have a desire that they must be what they can be, to be around that many people that have a desire that they must be what they can be. And for all of those people around us, I want to thank Paramount and TikTok for providing us the Super Bowl stage there to take our interviews and to do our content. Super, super kind to be a part of that. And we'll be there today as well. So check us out there at Paramount and TikTok. But I can't get out of my mind that I need to take care of myself so I can take care of others, and identifying the behaviors that are putting me at dis-ease, not at ease. So great conversations. I want to thank Dr. Oz, as well as all the other amazing people. Today we'll be with Rob Riggle. Going to come by Radio Row. We'll be with Jordan Schultz, Howard Schultz's son. We'll be with Austin Eckler, as always, and many, many more there on Radio Row. Saquon Barkley as well. I want to thank all those guys yesterday: Marshall Falk, Saquon Barkley, Doug Flutie, all the TI peoples that were there. Thank you for everything that you do, especially Marshall Falk. He brought the keynote and every way. So anyways, Nick, bring up Gigi.
Beautiful. Gigi, thank you so much for joining us. Happy Friday. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask David your question. Welcome.
Happy Friday, everyone. So Dave, as you're teaching, it's something that I'm looking into. Is when I have a conversation with anyone, the needs to be right, you just get angry because you feel you're right and you're not capable to listen to other perspectives. Why is that feeling so strong in us? Because it doesn't make sense to not listen to the person in front of you. And it's something that I'm working on. And I'm like, why? Because I'll give you an example that I was thinking. It's like when the sun is shining in America, it's not somewhere else. And you can say, oh yeah, it's daytime, and the person says, no, for me it's nighttime. Both people are right. So why do you have that feeling, oh, I'm right, and get angry and stop listening to each other? And how can we work through that?
I love it. Well, once again, the indicator that we have something to work on is the reaction, not the fear itself. And the fear, the exploration of the fear, is a longer process to learn what we're really afraid of when we have a need to be right, or need to be offended, or need to be separate, or need to be inferior or superior. And so determine your own personal circumstances. You may want to take note on your feelings that you have, not only the clues of I have a need to be right, because every time there is a confrontation that I may or may not be right, I get angry. Anger is immediate. It's easy to identify, but what you're afraid of is not. And so what I would do is look for the patterns, like a need to be right and the feeling of anger when you're in a conversation where you need to be right, and remind yourself that you are right approximately 50% of the time. It's the same way as when I get angry or frustrated or anxious, and let's say that one of my employees lost my phone. My immediate feeling is frustration and anger. And under the context of, I don't know what I'm afraid of when I get angry or frustrated because an employee loses my phone, but I do know this. I ask myself, have I done that before? And it eases the pain. It eases the dis-ease, because 99.9% of the time, the things that I get angry at, frustrated at, etc., are things that I've done. When people lie to me, cheat to me, manipulate, oversell, back-end sell me, I ask myself, have I done that before? And it eases the pain. And so this is a good example of taking a longer approach to understanding what we're afraid of, which is a personal journey, understanding your genetic and energetic inheritance, how you grew up, what other past lives you have, what genetic, biochemical, and bioanatomical makeup you have been co-created in. But most importantly, you don't want to stay angry over an illusion of not right or right, good or bad, of judgments, conditions, separation that's created by fear. And the only way that we can dissipate and dissolve that fear is to work on the reaction of fear, which you now have elevated your awareness to. Why do I get so angry when somebody disagrees with me? In other words, why do I have a need to be right? What am I so afraid of? What am I so afraid of if I am blessed as a part and parcel to the unified infinite system that I'm in? I am happy, I am healthy, I am wealthy, and I'm worthy, and I'm going to get angry at people for doing what I do? That sounds like a projection of my fear. Fear that maybe I'll be exposed of being less than I represent myself to be, of worrying about what other people think of me, of judging me for snapshots of bad behaviors in my past that everyone participates in, whether they are cognizant or not about it, because we're all part and parcel of a unified system. And when we separate ourselves from that system, for whatever reason, it causes fear. And we know that biochemically and bioanatomically, when fear is present, we react to it with a separating dis-ease, a feeling, words, actions, thoughts, and beliefs that are not conducive of acceleration towards where we want to be or better, not conducive of aggregating and attracting more of what we want, not conducive of providing us that blessing of exponentiality of outcomes, but instead of interfering with it, creating more distance, or even worse, accelerating us into the wrong trajectory. So keep on getting the clues of why you need to be right. Look for patterns of how you react to the need to be right, and dissipate, dissolve, and disappear that reaction as quickly as possible. Spend, Gigi, minutes and minutes in that fear, not days, weeks, months, and years, continually doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Trying to solve a problem in the same consciousness of fear that it was created is only going to accelerate, aggregate, and compound more fear. If we can adjust the consciousness of fear into ease, peace, happiness, and joy, you can solve that issue quite effectively. All right, Nick Time is in the house. We're starting to rock and roll here, off to a little bit of a bumpy start today, but we have smoothed the road with wisdom and faith, as always. Thank you, Nick, for being here. We are at the Super Bowl. Come by, swing by Radio Row. Come and see us. Next week, we'll be at SoFi on Monday, so come up to the stadium and visit us, give a little tour, or come visit us at the NBA All-Star Game. We'll start being there on Thursday. Come and see us, please. At the end of the month, we'll be in New York, New Jersey, and Philly. We're looking forward to that as well, and Chicago, by the way. I'm forgetting the Windy City. So put your jacket on and come meet up with us in any one of these great cities. All right, Nick, it's your turn. Go ahead and reset the room.
Absolutely. We are 100% going to agree here. And with this BYOQ for David Meltzer's Power Hour, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And of course, we are here in the Best Room Community in Clubhouse, which is the champion. So let's continue to share the room with all of our friends, family, colleagues, anybody that we believe would benefit from this incredible conversation. And as of course, when you have your questions for David, feel free to send a message here in the room chat, and I can send you an invite, or you can use the hand in the lower right-hand corner of your screen to request to join the stage. And like David said, we are at the Super Bowl this week, so if you are in Las Vegas, not only reach out to us, and of course, you can reach out to David just directly via email. His email is david@dmeltzer.com, as we would love to see you. But next week, we will also be at SoFi Stadium on Monday, as well as Indianapolis on Thursday and Friday for the NBA All-Star Game. So if you would like to join us in any of those upcoming events and cities, all you have to do is email David directly. He'll even be happy to throw in a copy of book, signed copy, and even pay for shipping. All you have to do, people, david@dmeltzer.com. Now, with that said, David, I'm going to pass it over to, I believe it's Portia, and she has been patiently waiting here on stage. Portia, feel free to unmute yourself and ask David your question. Welcome.
Hey, guys. No, I really just popped in to get a feel of the space. I'm going to be back on Clubhouse per the invitation from Marilyn. Thank you so much. But I'm loving this conversation. I don't have a question. I could make one up, but I'm not going to do that. I think this is really great. And I'm just going to listen. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And we appreciate you joining and continue to enjoy the community of people that want to help each other, know people can help each other. Nick, do you want me to take another question online? We got tons of people all over these different platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and take one live here on Clubhouse, and then we'll go back to online. So I will pass it over to Alex. Alex, thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask David your question. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Nick. David, I know you've been at the Super Bowl for many years now. Just want to know your perspective on the stage theory, the importance of it, and how it's changed over the years.
Wow. Yes. So originally, the stage theory I learned through being the CEO of Lee Steinberg Sports Entertainment, the sports agency, going to the Super Bowl, the Pro Bowl, the Masters, the Kentucky Derby, the Breeders' Cup, the ESPYs, Emmys, Oscars, and Grammys. And what I realized was that the business development for the clients that we had when we would parade them around Radio Row and have interviews and speeches and meetups and dinners and lunches and parties, that was only the start of it. What if we listened to Shakespeare and said, hey, what if we captured this some way? And so they started, I'm really old, with VHS. And then we moved to the little mini cans, and you know where we're at today with the iPhones and all the different unbelievable ways that we can capture the content that exists at the biggest backdrops in the world, where the celebrities, athletes, entertainers, billionaires, millionaires, and entrepreneurs are. And so the first step in understanding the stage theory was Shakespeare said, the whole world is your stage, even though at the time it wasn't, but in linear time it wasn't. These people understood the entire stage theory. Einstein understood the entire stage theory and knew that he could capture his essence. And if Steve Jobs could capture his essence, and Elon Musk captures his essence, and Shakespeare captured their essence, and they modified their essence to all the different places people experience that essence. And back then there wasn't as many places, but somehow they knew there'd be more places, and that the whole world was their stage in the unified time that they perceived. And all of them did, by the way, and still do perceive in the infinite time, the unified system that I'm talking about. And if you understand that, you'll then realize that everything that you do, we should be capturing when we're at our best, at our essence. And then we modify it. And now at the biggest events with the backdrops of sports, for example, we could amplify it at an exponential measure. And so we capture our essence, we modify the essence, we amplify it. And as Shakespeare and Einstein especially knew, it's perpetual. It lives in an infinite time zone. And that's why, for example, I still believe the biggest brand on earth is not the Kardashians, not The Rock, not Kanye. It's not Taylor Swift even though bless you, Taylor Swift, because I want you to come back to SoFi every other day with the amount of people that fill up my suite. You're an amazing brand. But Einstein's the most powerful brand on earth because he understood the stage theory. He understood as a mere scientist who had faced all types of resistance, anti-relativism, believe it or not, anti-Semitism, as most of us know. It didn't matter because he was an expert at capturing his essence of being a genius. Einstein has modified that essence as he lived. Others have modified it since, and everybody has amplified it to the point that you could be walking on the Masai Mara in Kenya with a Masai Mara warrior who's sitting there in his sandals and skirt. And you could ask that warrior, walking with the lions and the leopards and the rhinos and the elephants and the cheetahs and the pumbas and all the different cool things that still exist in Africa, and ask him, who, when I say genius, do you think of? And 99.9% of the people on Earth, because of the stage theory, will tell you Einstein. That's the most powerful brand on Earth. There's nobody that exists today that has that reach, that has been able to understand the infinite, abundant, unified system that we belongless of timelessness to tie in the past, present, and future, like Shakespeare. Somehow saw a future where the whole world is your stage. And it is for everyone. The total addressable community, just social media, is 7.6 billion people. That's almost all the Earth. Even though when Einstein captured his essence, there wasn't that capability. And when Shakespeare captured his essence, there wasn't that capability. If you're not understanding stage theory today, no matter what size, scope, or scale you want to build your community, it can be 5 people, 50 people, 500, 5 million, or 5 billion, doesn't matter. You need to understand Shakespeare. You need to understand that we need to capture our essence, our own personal skills, our knowledge, who and what, and our desire, our inspiration, and modify it according to all the different platforms that exist out there today. Amplify it through the community of people that buy from us for life and sell for us for life, and know that we're creating a social silo that hopefully comparably might be that which of Shakespeare, Einstein, or Kardashian, or The Rock, or whoever else you may want to mirror. But to create a perpetual social silo that when people become aware of you, they then can get to know you in an amplified, measured way without you ever meeting them. There are so many people here at the Super Bowl, because I have utilized the stage theory, that come up to me. I feel like one of the Orange County housewives. They know more about me than I think I know about myself, because they watch every single day in a social silo of someone who has a mission of empowering others to empower others to be happy, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. That does not happen if you don't understand Shakespeare, Einstein, Jobs, and Musk, and many, many others who lived in the infinite abundance system, building a community of people that want to help each other, and know people that want to help each other, aligned with the essence of these individuals in order to buy from them and sell for them for life, just building and accelerating more good in the world. That's what the stage theory is. Thank you. We are perfectly at halftime. Nick, why don't you go ahead and reset the room and tell us who you think is going to be winning at halftime of the Super Bowl?
Absolutely. My prediction is I think Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to be leading at halftime. And I think between the many weapons that the San Francisco 49ers have, but their incredible leader, Brock Purdy, I think they're going to come back in the second half and take that ring for their own. So that's my halftime prediction. But as we are at halftime here of David Meltzer's Power Hour for the BYOQ session today, let's make sure to continue to share this room with all of our friends, family, colleagues, anybody that we know would benefit from this incredible conversation or may acquaint. And of course, if you want to join David, whether it's today here in Las Vegas for the Super Bowl, on Monday in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium, or of course even next Thursday and Friday in Indianapolis for the NBA All-Star Game and his VIP dinner, Meta Peace and Dominique Wilkins, and in many, many more. All you have to do is email David directly, david@dmeltzer.com. And with that said, David, do you want to go ahead and take a question online, and then we can come back live here to Clubhouse, as I believe we have Glenda and Brent will be ready with questions then.
Yeah, perfect. So, so many questions. Just want to thank everyone. If I don't answer your question, I do an Ask Me Anything on Monday. I go live every day. You could catch me on the weekend. Just re-ask the question or even DM it to me. I'll be happy to do that, as well as send you my book. I will sign it, send it, pay for shipping in the book, which most people on Clubhouse know, but all the other platforms, please email me as well. All right, question is, how do you remind yourself during the day? So first of all, you have to realize that the simple things to do are simply difficult to do. The simple things to do are unfortunately simple not to do. Try to pick the easy thing you can do. And I would suggest saying thank you. To be and remind yourself to be grateful. It takes 0.1 seconds. To say thank you out loud or in your head To think thank you takes 0.1 seconds. Try to remind yourself during the day to say thank you. Try doing it on the hour. Try doing it at night. Try it in the morning. If you get really aggressive, try doing it once every 10 minutes, 6 times an hour. And you will realize that simple things to do, even though proven to be the most impactful things in your life, the best behavior that has been created, gratitude, the ability to find the light, the love, and the lessons, the ability to manifest everything that you desire, the ability to live at ease, the ability to be inspired in spirit, the ability to leverage the omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing in and through you, to just simply say or think thank you. 0.1 seconds. And by the way, absolutely free. You can't charge for it. It's impossible. Just think thank you. And if you don't realize the power of this question, how do you remind yourself during the day? First, you have to elevate your awareness to how difficult it is to remember, remind, and recollect. You got to understand that human nature never changes, and that consistency is a superpower because it's so difficult regardless of the task in hand. It is one of the most difficult things in the world to be consistent. It is almost to the antithesis of our biochemical and bioanatomical beings. And it's definitely to the antithesis of human nature to be consistent. And if you don't believe me, let's search back into the question of how do you remind yourself during the day to do the simple things that have the most impact in our lives? How do we remind ourselves during the day to remain in a trajectory, a divine direction towards what we want or better? How do we remember and remind every day to be people giving, accountable, and inspired? How do we remind ourselves every day? And the answer is practice. Practice. Pick an amount of time that you want to remind yourself of the simple things to do that have the most impact in the divine direction of being your higher self, yourself, to learning the most lessons and loving most that you can, to living at ease and identifying the dis-ease. Try. I would suggest saying thank you or thinking thank you to start. Try it just once a day. See how difficult it is to remind yourself once a day to say thank you. See how many days in a row you could do that, and then move it to 2, move it to 10, move it to 24, to 100. It takes 0.1 seconds. 0.1 seconds. So 100 takes about 10 seconds of your 24 hours in a day. Why is it so difficult to remind ourselves, remember, and recollect the omniscient, all-powerful, all-knowing in the simplest things to do? Because I know one thing about human nature: the simple things to do are unfortunately simple not to do, and consistency is the antithesis of human nature. And so we have to practice it. We have to make progress, not perfection. You have to forgive yourself when you forget to say thank you. But I promise you one thing: the more that you say it, the more you remind yourself that you are part and parcel of a unified, abundant, infinite system of more of everything for everyone. By saying thank you, abundance will follow you. And there'll be more than enough of everything for not only everyone, but for you. All right, Nick, thank you so much for waking up early at the Super Bowl. Thank you so much for doing a terrific job here at the Super Bowl. Thank you so much for being a great liaison between Dave Meltzer Enterprises and all that we do and the humongous community that we're growing. And we want to take looking back as milestones. Every Super Bowl, we see a difference. Every NBA All-Star game, we see a difference. Every Masters, we see a difference. Every meetup, we see a difference. And it's because of our team, people like you that come here, Raluca, producing these shows every single day. And as you know, we got some really big news coming up in 2024. We have 200 dates already settled on. So we're going to be around the world on our mission. And I could do it without my team and without the community of people that are helping us and know people that can help us, and vice versa. Nick of time, set the room.
It is always a pleasure and honor to be with you here, David, of course, with the Breakfast of Champions. And I can't thank you enough for all opportunities, but the skills, knowledge, and desire that you empower all of us with and continue to help us develop, all three of those kind of all in one day-to-day basis. So, of course, showing a lot of gratitude towards you. And, of course, doing a quick reset here. This is BYOQ. We bring the questions and David bring the answers. He is here live in Las Vegas from the Super Bowl. So, of course, if you are here in Las Vegas and want to join him, even join next week in Los Angeles on Monday at SoFi Stadium, or next Thursday and Friday in Indy for the NBA All-Star Game, just reach out to him quickly, david@dmeltzer.com. And, of course, as you continue to have these questions, I'm getting a ton of requests on my side, and I know we have so many questions online. Thank you for those, but you can, of course, use the hand in the lower right-hand corner to request to join the stage, and we will, of course, continue to bring everybody up. Now, with that said, I'm going to pass over to Glenda, who has been patiently waiting. Glenda, it's great to see you. I hope all is incredible in 2024. Blessing you with abundance as always. Feel free to mute yourself and ask David your question. Welcome.
Welcome. Good morning, and thank you so much. And I'm going to first of all start with saying thank you, David, for everything that you do and being out there and being such a magnificent leader, and also to your beautiful team who have had the extinction of meetings. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you do.
Thank you.
So, okay, I'm going to put it to, you've talked about this in different ways, but if you were a world leader, you are your own, and you have a small leadership, but I'm talking on a much grander scale. What would you do to help to curb all this anger and anti-Semitism that's happening right now in the world?
Well, the first thing that I would do as a bigger leader in the bigger community would be to help people appreciate differences instead of separate by differences. And so by bringing people together and creating, if I had a very large community, in fact, somebody in my notes here, Glenda said, in my personal opinion, is that Jesus has the biggest brand, even bigger than Einstein. Einstein may be a close second. I want to make a point, because brand is different than being known. I would say that Jesus probably is the most well-known individual that has ever lived, but he doesn't have the biggest brand, because Einstein has a unified brand, right? When we say genius, everyone in the world says Einstein. When we say spiritual leader, everyone doesn't say Jesus. Or when we say divine self or higher self, or whatever it is, not everybody in the world thinks the same thing of Jesus. And so if I was a leader of that magnitude, I would start by empowering others to appreciate differences, not separate ourselves by them. It's okay that we're different. I appreciate the differences. I don't separate myself with inferiority, superiority, or separation. And unfortunately, that's what people do. And in order to appreciate the differences, Glenda, we have to teach those values that I teach at a micro level. And I want to appreciate the fact that, there's 7.6 billion people. And when you're considered a thought leader, the amount of people may just be 100 million. And you're considered a world thought leader at 100 million people. If it's more than that, it's even greater. But, as we look at community size, the size and scale of 7.6 billion people is not fathomable to most people. But what we all need to do, because the only way we get to 1 billion people, and why I think of myself as a world changer that will change the world, is because all I need is 1,000 people like you, Glenda, to empower 1,000 people like you, Glenda, to empower 1,000 people like you, Glenda. Now we have 1 billion people in our community. 1 billion people full of light, liberating light, appreciating the differences in the world. And I know this about all the rhetoric and noise out there, whether it's separate, inferior, superior, attacking, judgments, conditions, hate, whatever you want to call it. I know one thing, that one particle of light that Glenda has will overcome 1 million particles of darkness. One particle of light will overcome the loud but weak darkness of the people who hate. When we realize that the people that are attacking us are attacking themselves, and that when we harness the power of appreciation, gratitude, and forgiveness, and accountability, we will be inspired in spirit by whatever label you want to put on your shampoo. It doesn't matter to me, because the irony of the hate separation that occurs in the world is that most people, although they don't appreciate the differences, they focus and dwell on the minuscule differences that exist in a world full of people, that the majority of the people believe one thing, that there's something bigger than them that loves them more than their mom. And instead of appreciating the minute differences in humanity, they decide to separate through inferiority and superiority, attack, fear, etc. That separates and causes this loud darkness out there that is very weak. And I want to encourage everyone, you're a world thought leader or your community is 2 or 3 people, empower those 2 or 3 people to appreciate our differences. Remember, and recollect them into that bigger source that every one of us, except for a few of us, believe in something bigger than you that loves you more than your mom. You can label your shampoo whatever you want to label it. It does not bother me. I will appreciate the differences in the names. And we can all join together in a unified, abundant, infinite system of love, protection, and promotion in which we were co-created. And that's my mission, Glenda. And in a pragmatic sense, I'm teaching people to be abundant, to make a lot of money, 2, to help a lot of people with that money, 3, to enjoy that money by buying the right things for the right reasons, instead of buying things they don't need to impress people they don't like. Thank you, Glenda. Please help me on my mission. Be one of my 1,000.
I love it. Thank you so much, David.
You're a blessing. Thank you so much. We are all blessed in that unified system. Okay, Nick, it's a special time right now. I know you know what it felt like in the NFC Championship to have the lead in the 4th quarter, going in thinking that it was time to prepare for this week. And now here you are with no lions around you, but a lot of roar. We're going into the 4th quarter here. Once again, who's going to be leading in the 4th quarter in the Super Bowl? I know you think that the Niners are going to come through, but are they going to be leading by the 4th quarter?
Yes, as we just entered the 4th quarter, Brock Purdy just completed a nice little hitch route to Christian McCaffrey for a touchdown, and they just took the lead and are taking all the momentum. So you can hold me to it in terms of my prediction for Sunday. And of course, still heartbroken about my Lions, but we will be back and better than ever next year. But let's keep it rocking and rolling here live with another question on Clubhouse. I will pass it over to Brent. Brent, so thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see you here. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask David your question.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, David. Amen on your answer to that question, David. I certainly am one of your 1,000, and let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. I mean, once we have this recognition, it does actually have somewhat of a tremendous responsibility to educate others and to just be happy. So that thing threw me off because I had my own little agenda here of what I was going to ask you, but that's the most important thing. So thank you for that. I'll go ahead and ask what I'm going to
Please.
Yeah. So 8 months ago is when I met you, David, and the first thing you said is find someone there, and you're there, man. And I'm following your footsteps. My business has been amazing. I'm following JDS1marketing.com. Where I came up with that. I saw you, and I have a new slogan. It's be kind to your future business. We're that.
Nice.
So I'm going to ask for permission to kind of just utilize that. It's going to help others. So thank you very much for that. So I really, really, really appreciate that. But my question, okay, so been, basically absorbing like a book a week. I've got this personal development journey that I'm on, and I see a dichotomy in some of the research and some of the things I'm learning, and I need your help to diffuse it. The dichotomy is this. Okay. Be positive, forgive yourself, move on, keep persistent, and everything's going to all work out. And then the other thing is, you know what? F it. You know better. You can do it. Why are you failing? Results orientated. Go get them. You can rah. All right. So great. All right. Now, where is the happy balance, David? Help us. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, this is one of the biggest conflicts and counterintuitive ideas in the separation of this ferocious Buddha. And what I do is utilize linear time in order to effectuate greater progress. And in order to understand progress, we understand behavior and its relationship to the progress that we have. Joe, I'm on my training. It's Friday. So sorry. There you go. Sorry. So in that aspect, so we want to understand the relationship between behavior and progress. Unfortunately, what creates that counterintuitive and conflictual idea between ferocious Buddha, how can I be ferocious and also be Zen about the outcomes? And the idea is to understand the distance of resistance between your behaviors and the outcomes you think you want. And in order to shorten the distance of resistance between the behaviors that you do today and the outcomes that you receive is to seek wisdom and maintain faith. And so if we separate via the linear time frame each day, understanding the lessons, the wisdom of the past, and reconciling the future by utilizing a higher self-image with faith, we can take away the two limitations that we give ourselves for our future, and we can understand that reconciliation of being ferocious every day, but Buddhist of its outcomes, because behaviors have nothing to do with outcomes. Behaviors only indicate the progress that you're making. The outcomes that occur are there to protect, promote you, and love you. You don't have the capability to understand no outcomes. You only have an ability to understand and know behaviors that create progress towards outcomes that you think you want. And it is the faith when behaviors and the outcomes are not aligned that tell you that you need to seek the wisdom in order to effectuate a greater awareness of how that outcome actually is protecting, promoting, and loving you. For example, when I lost everything, over $100 million, and I had to go tell my mom that I lost everything and went bankrupt, but even more importantly, that I lost her house. In no way was I a ferocious Buddha. I was just ferocious. Ferocious thinking I understood outcomes and I knew outcomes, how they were impacting my life or what they meant in my life, instead of seeking the wisdom and having the faith in order to get to where I wanted to be better by utilizing that outcome of losing everything to protect, promote, and love me, which here I am 16 years later in 2024. Telling you that defining moment was one of the greatest moments of my life. But when it happened, without the understanding of the reconciliation of the ferocious Buddha, all I felt was punished. Whereas today I know it saved my life, and I know for sure it saved my marriage, which then also saved my children and all the people that I take care of today. It had set me in a path of protection, promotion, and love to understand a divine direction that I didn't understand or know, because I don't have the capability of understanding outcomes. I do have the capability to understand my behaviors that are aligned with the progress towards the better outcomes in my life. Be a ferocious Buddha. Remember, collect that you're part of a unified, abundant, infinite system, and that you can accelerate, aggregate, and compound those outcomes in a divine direction, even though you don't know or understand it. It just takes faith to get you there, and wisdom. The wisdom is finding the light, the love, and the lessons in everything. The faith is believing that I don't understand or know outcomes. Therefore, I will trust in my behaviors, that if I align my behavior where I want to be or better, I'll end up where I want to be or better, guaranteed. Seek that wisdom and faith. Reduce the distance of resistance in your life. I promise you, it's difficult to intuitively, intelligently, and inspirationally understand that conflict that exists between being ferocious and being a Buddha. And if anybody wants a ferocious Buddha hat or hoodie, email me. We'd love to get it for you. It's a reminder to me every day that ferocious Buddha is within all of us. Thank you so much for being a ferocious Buddha. Thank you, since those 8 months, for making more money, helping more people, and having more fun. Let's go. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, David. See you at the end of the month, man.
See you.
Coming around.
You got it, man. New York, New Jersey, and Philly. Here I come. All right, Nick, we are in the last 7 minutes of the game. What's the score?
Score is 31-28, and we got a nail biter on our hands. It's just going to come down to it. Patrick has a little bit of magic in him, but I think that 49ers defense is going to remain strong. Now, with that said, David, let's go ahead and take one last question from online, and then we'll come back here to Clubhouse as we close out this beautiful session.
Oh, give me a curveball there. I was just circling down and with all the questions. And I want to thank Joe Alva, by the way. Joe Alva is one of my great partners, and I've been doing these trainings, Nick, for over 24 years. And Joe Alva and my wife's been in these trainings for over 24 years. And it just amazes me that the only two people that call me during trainings from 6 a.m. till 7 a.m. Pacific time is my wife and Joe Alva. So I want to thank both of them for reminding me to remind you that I do trainings every Friday. I'm here 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Pacific time. All right. I'm going to get killed when I get home. All right, here we go. Can you elaborate on designing a pitch? We did a pitch competition yesterday. The incredible Marshall Faulk and a variety of NFL players, TPI, including Doug Flutie and Saquon Barkley. We had 7 companies, and the Light Helmet Company won. But there's 5 components to designing a pitch. And the first component is credibility. If you can reach a high level of credibility, it doesn't matter what you say because everybody will believe what you say and you'll receive no resistance. You could just make your ask. If you could be 100% credible, everybody would do what you say. But that's an impossibility, a mathematical phenomenon that rarely, if ever exists. But you want to make sure that everything that you say is credible, because the minute that you say something that's credible, people start seeking through skepticism, through separation, that which you say that isn't true. 2, you need emotional connection. Now, emotional connection is tied to value. There's only 2 ways to provide value. Give people what they like and take away what they don't like. And so if you don't have the knowledge, if you're not more interested than interesting on what people like or don't like, then you make sure that you have been listening for what people like and don't like about your capabilities, whether it's a product, service, solution, or a brand, doesn't matter. The third component of designing a pitch is understanding how to articulate a quantitative value of the reasons somebody should move forward. And the only reason people would move forward is that if you can articulate a quantitative value of what they like more than what you're asking for, or what they dislike that you're taking away more than what you're asking for. And so we need to practice to progress in the articulation, your ability to speak about the quantitative value of giving someone more of what they like, taking away what they don't like, and receiving less for it in the perception, which is called perceived value. The fourth component of a pitch is to understand the impact that it has. This has taken on a greater role in all pitches today because people are looking for impact, even more than quantitative value at times. And so we want to make sure that we understand the impact of what we're articulating, that they will receive in a perceived way more than what you're asking for, and be able to articulate that in a quantified manner as well, with time, value, and emotion tied into it. And then the fifth component is the one that gets most misconceived and misperceived, which is what I call the capability component. Do not feature and benefit dump. Do not try to sell on a voicemail, a DM, or an email. It is a waste of time. Instead, with credibility, emotional attachment, reasons, and impacts, infuse capability into it, designed for what they like or designed to take away what they don't like in a quantifiable manner to exceed that perceived value that you're asking for. And then finally, overlaying it all, know the timing and risk tolerance, know the perceived value and bottom line before pitching, the credibility, emotional attachment, reasons, impacts, and the infusion of capability. And if you do that, you will design a perfect pitch. You will have statistical success beyond your imagination. You will provide more value than you're asking for by giving people more of what they like and taking what they don't like. I've seen, heard, and designed more pitches than most people on earth. And I promise you, if you practice these 5 things to a level of comfortability where your perceived value is high, and you do the math on the bottom line and align it with your timing and risk tolerance, which then through being more interested than interesting, you can align it to somebody else's and manage and develop that vision. It will thrive. You will create a community around your product, your service, your solution, your brand. You will design not only a perfect pitch, but a community of people that will buy from you and sell for you for life. And life becomes easy, not dis-easy, when you're able and capable of doing that. If you would like the perfect pitch guide, I will throw it in with my book. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Swing by. I'll give it to you at the Super Bowl, at SoFi, at the NBA All-Star Game, at the Masters, wherever we are, New Jersey, New York, and Philly coming up, Chicago. Reach out to us. Let's make a date. Let's meet up. Let's do it in person. If not, email me, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll give you that perfect pitch guide. No problem. Or I'll sign a book, send it to you, pay for shipping and the book. All right, Nick, it's time to close out this party. It's 6:59 a.m. Let's make sure that you're taken care of. Let's give a big round of applause to the Nick of Time. He's here up early. He's young, and I am so proud of him and all my team. The biggest compliment I get running around is my team, how incredible they are. And I'm telling you, you're preaching to the choir when you tell me how blessed I am with the people I've surrounded myself with in a mission to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Come join us. Join our community of people, of abundant, infinite thinkers, omniscient, all-powerful users and throughers. Come and join our community. It's easy. All right, Nick of Time, it's 7 a.m. Pacific. Close us out.
As we close out here on
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Come and join us at the Super Bowl today, Monday at SoFi Stadium after the big game. Good luck to the Niners. Praying for you. Thank you to Al Guido and the Niners for hosting us as well. We'll be at the Sportigo event today and Radio Row all day. Looking forward to seeing Rob Riggle. Looking forward to see Jordan Schultz. Looking forward to see Austin Eckler and many more. Thank you, everybody, so much. We'll be in NBA All-Star Game in Indy. Come and meet up. We got VIP dinners in all these places. Then we will be in New York, New Jersey, Philly, Chicago, VIP dinners, meetups. Come and join us. David@dmeltzer.com. If you can't keep up with us, I get it. I can't keep up with me. Just text me, join our community, get alerted of the trainings, to the Ask Me Anythings, to the meetups, the VIP dinners, the masterminds, the speeches, the books. 949-298-2905. 949-298-2905. Remember, most importantly, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. We will see you at the Super Bowl. Bye-bye.